let's go to the Cleveland side of things. I mean, the second the buzzer went out, all of a sudden, 5 leaked stories. Evan Mobley hates Cleveland and didn't want to get drafted here. Darius Garland says it's either me or Mitchell. I want to go to Minnesota. Donovan Mitchell's like, I love it here. I want to extend. Oh, but I also kind of want to leave. But I want to stay here. I really want to extend. But also, here are the 4 places I really would like to go. And then there's also Jared Allen was like, I'm not taking painkillers to play in these games. And apparently the Cavs were mad that Jared Allen didn't want to take painkillers. All this, and then JP Bickerstaff's probably getting fired. Then he's not, and then he is. It's craziness coming out of Cleveland right now. I can't believe we're still talking about the effing Cleveland Cavaliers at this point, even though they're eliminated. But it is an important part because, I'll be honest, I'll just get my take off real quick. The Donovan Mitchell part of things, it's very clear what Donovan Mitchell is trying to do here. It is very, very, very clear. He's playing Cleveland like a fiddle right now. He is playing Cleveland like a fiddle. He wants to get that extension so he can get the max amount of money, and then 1 to 2 years from now, he's going to demand a trade to get out of there. But in the short term, they're going to trade away their guys like Darius Garland or Jared Allen or Evan Mobley to bring in someone like Brandon Ingram to make him happy, or to make him quote-unquote happy, be like, hey, look what all we did for you, Donovan. And then eventually, in a year to 2 years after he signs his mega supermax extension, he's going to say, screw you guys, I want to go to Brooklyn. I want to go to L.A. I want to go to Miami. It's so clear what he's doing, and people are falling into this trap of, oh my gosh, Donovan Mitchell, he loves Cleveland. And then Donovan Mitchell's out here like, the media out here lying, F them. It's like, they're not lying. These media members are not lying. And then now his agent's putting out stuff to Shams and Woj, being like, nuh-uh, Donovan Mitchell loves Cleveland. And he's just using them as puppets, as they are always used by these agents. It's so clear what Donovan Mitchell is doing. He did this to the Utah Jazz, essentially. This is what Kevin Durant did to the Brooklyn Nets. This is what all these players are doing now. Donovan Mitchell's not the exception. He's not. Why on earth would he sit there and say, I love Cleveland? Unless they make some miraculous, huge trade to make themselves an immediate championship contender. And even then, when the Jazz were in the playoffs, you saw Donovan Mitchell quit on the court against the Dallas Mavericks with Rudy Gobert. He quit on the court. The same thing's going to happen in Cleveland until he gets to where he wants to go, which is a big market.
Exactly, Carter. Like, I was, we have a mutual Cavs fan. Shout him out.
Shout out.
Who we were like,
Andrew.
dude, that this is exactly what he did to Utah, and he wasn't buying it. And he's a Cavs fan, so, like, I get it. But where there's smoke, there's fire, Carter. All this stuff coming out the second the buzzer sound, and you're telling me everything's fine, happy, just peachy in Cleveland is not true, because all this stuff would not be coming out if so. Donovan Mitchell is pulling a Damian Lillard here, right? We're at the era in the NBA where signing papers and a contract doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything except your checkbook for the next 5-6 years, whatever you extend for. That's just really what it's come down to. And Donovan does not want to stay in Cleveland. And why should he, right? They don't have a particularly amazing team. If he really says he wants to win a championship, then it's not going to happen in Cleveland. There's nothing particularly redeeming about the city that's holding him there. He's got no ties to that place. He doesn't want to stay there. And he may sign, and Cleveland fans will be like, I told you. He re-signed for us. It's like, cool. Yeah.
But guess what? Next January, there's going to be rumblings where his agent's going to start leaking out there that, oh, by the way, Donovan Mitchell really likes Mikal Bridges and the Brooklyn Nets and really likes Pat Riley and the Miami Heat. It's so clear. He was doing this in Utah. He's doing it now in Cleveland. He wants to make the max amount of money. And then it's also going to put Cleveland in this horrible position because, like I said before, they're going to use draft capital and other assets to get a win-now team that's definitely not going to be ready to win now. And they're going to give away solid assets to try and keep a guy happy like Donovan Mitchell, which Donovan Mitchell's probably not ever going to be a number one on a championship team ever as a 6'2", 6'1" guard. And it's just so clear. And the other thing is too, is like people. I don't know what the problem is in Cleveland, but there's clearly something wrong. There's clearly something wrong. I don't know if it's Bickerstaff. I think the coaches always use the scapegoat. And in the NBA, I don't think the coach matters as much. I don't know if it's Garland. I don't know if it's Mobley. I don't know if it's Mitchell. But something weird's going on in Cleveland. And it really just feels like all these dudes are trying to say, it's my team, it's my team, it's my team. Get out, get out, get out. And then Donovan, what's going to happen, like we said, is Donovan Mitchell's going to sign the extension. He's going to sign the max extension. They're probably going to trade Darius Garland and get some wing player back, like a Brandon Ingram or, I don't know, Miles Bridges type player. And then they'll trade Jared Allen. They're going to give up some picks and try and get someone else in. And they're going to maybe make an Eastern Conference Finals. And then he's going to bounce immediately. And then they're going to be left with, oh, crap, we have nothing, because also they're not going to get much in return on a trade like that, because he's going to demand, I only want to go to X, Y, and Z. And the other teams, if you're a team like the Washington Wizards, you're like, why would we trade for Donovan Mitchell when he doesn't want to come play here, when he's just going to try and force his way out the second we trade for him? So then you lose. The other teams have all the leverage. The Nets, the Heat, the Lakers, wherever he wants to go, have all the leverage. I think it's a disaster for Cleveland right now.
It really is. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I don't know what's like the next step for this franchise. Look, Donovan Mitchell's a nice player. Like,
yeah, he's great.
He could put up 50 any given night. He's very Paul George-y to me. Like, you'd be like, oh, that dude's game, his game is nice. He's never going to be the number one guy on a championship team. He's never going to take a team to the finals. Like, I don't care how smooth and nice his game is and how he can pop off for 50. That's just the player he is. He'll be all-stars. You know, he can make All-NBA. But that's it. And it's not happening in Cleveland. That's for dang sure. And he knows that. So, yeah, Cleveland's in a tough spot. Go ahead.
Last thing about this, too, that I'll talk about Donovan Mitchell is, you mentioned last show, you're like, why the hell is he not playing? What's going on? What's wrong with his calf? Like, why? It's all of a sudden he can't play all of a sudden, and he misses these 2 games. It's clear. It's clear. If he actually wanted to stay in Cleveland and win in Cleveland, he would have played. He would have gotten some injection. He would have done something to play in that game, in games 4 and game 5. But he knew they were going to lose, and he knows, I can't screw up my future. I got to get this super mega max extension. I got to say all the right things in the media. I'm going to have my agent say all the right things, and then I'm getting the F out of Cleveland. That's what's going to happen. Unless, now the one saving grace is, what if for some reason LeBron does a homecoming?
That's he. That is the one thing that would redeem that team.
Cavs fans were probably like at a 10 out of 10, I hate this podcast scale. And then I mentioned a LeBron homecoming. It just turned into, this guy is on to something. He gets it. He gets it.